is Ruckus. Thanks for joining me. Please like, subscribe, and share. 10-8. Yo, 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 what's good, everybody? Got your boy Ruckus here. Got a little midday live for you. Got Noè and wife Lilith joining me. Angela L, D Ashley, V Marie. Frank, what's going on, Frank Meister? I seen you called, but I was trying to get this set up, brother. Okay, I'll hit you back after the live. Trust and Justice. Check Cash David, what's good, brother? Let's see, we got Miss Thang. We got the infamous Jinx. Night Shadow, how are ya? Tina Pat's girl, my home girl, my fellow Brady fan, Patriots fan. Something to say, what's good? Tina Baldwin, Kay Smith, Kimberly, what's going on, girlfriend? I'm digging those photos. Kim, how are you? Tina Baldwin again, the prof, what's going on, prof? Cindy Lynn, Jill Moser, Purdue RN in the house, Alice James, Fur Baby Daddy, Spocky Doo. We got anybody who's everybody's in here. TTM fangirl. See, I've got your chat up from last night. You see that? Now I gotta fix it again. See, that's what I get. That's what I get for talking smack. So as soon as I say I got it, I gotta fix it. Story of my life, man. That should be better. Oh, that's a little too big. Bear with me for 1 second here. And we'll fix this. Shows what a good host I am, huh? I think I'm smart, but I'm not smart. I'm dumb as a box of rocks. All right, let me get this back down here where it needs to be. Get some of your chats going here. Let me lock this before I screw that up. Cleo, what's going on? Phil Bond. Wife Lilith in the house. Good to see you, Lilith. Tattoo you. Hello, hello, hello. Olivia. A little bit, Alexis. Behave yourself, please. She got a super sticker. Thank you so much. Baby Lemon with pom-poms. Oh, that's a sticker. It's not a chat. Thank you very much for that. $2.99. At Venue, what's going on, Noe? Noe's in the house. August Barnes. Cocksureness. Jetta. Boji, what's good, brother? You can pick on me. Don't worry about it. I'm good. I can handle it, brother. Come at me, bro. Boston Christian. Lady Drake. ACV. Boy, we got everybody coming up in here. Pigeon, what's good, girlfriend? All right. Without further ado, I know you guys are not here to look at my ugly mug. I'm going to bring my guests in here, and we'll get this show on the road. Stand by. And there we go. Wife Lilith, how are you, ma'am?
Good. How are you?
Good. Noe, what's shaking, brother?
How you doing?
I'm perfect.
Not
Look
far.
at me. Is my camera not working? I'm perfect. Look at me, dude. How you guys doing today?
It's cold
Well,
outside.
I'm doing all right. I had a morning study, and then I had an interview for an apartment, and now I have this. So
Right
going
on.
good so far.
Well, I appreciate you joining me. I know you guys are both busy, but I know a lot of people have a lot of questions. Wife Lilith, you've been very busy posting things of late, and it's intriguing and polarizing as hell, I must say. Can you go over a little bit? I know you were on Sleuths last night, but by the time we got that all worked out, it was too late and all that. He wanted to talk to you a little bit about Richard Allen, how you've had contact with him and stuff like that. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
As far as contact now, I
Yeah.
can't. Like, I can't put anything out there. I mean, what is he wanting to know about him?
Well, you mentioned that you put some money in his account during my live for his envelopes and pens, his indigent package, to make sure that he had everything he needed, which I think's cool as hell. That's really cool of you. How did that come about? Do you know Richard?
Well, I do.
Okay, okay. So it's not like you just some flake that just decided to send him money. You know who he is. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And how long have you known Richard for? And anything you're not comfortable with, just tell me, and I'm fine with it. I'm here for you, not me.
Before 2017, I had him on my Facebook. He was on my Facebook from 2017, 18, and 19. And then he deleted it after that. But I mean, I sent the emails to Noe showing him.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, like I told you before, and I understand where you're coming from, but you really don't have to prove anything to anybody, in my eyes. Um,
Um,
yeah,
well,
anybody that.
so the money I added, okay, you guys got to remember that Richard got moved from Carroll County in the very beginning. Nobody has added anything. So even if he did get something when he first got moved over, he doesn't have it now. So yeah, I gave him $20 to get some paper, a pen, and some deodorant or whatever, and he wrote the judge. I
Right
mean, I
on.
don't know what he the judge, but I mean, if that's what's going to help the case, I mean, move further along, then so be it. Like I said, I'll go down and cut the tree myself if he needs paper. I mean,
No, I understand that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, what about you,
but
Noe?
like,
I'm sorry.
I 100% believe he's involved. Um, like I've said, don't believe he's the one who actually killed them. I mean, I've always said that.
Well, law enforcement is pretty confident that he is involved to some extent.
Right.
And for what they charge him with, Lilith, I think they only really have to prove that he kidnapped the girls, to be honest with you. The
Hmm.
verbiage is a little different in Indiana than it is in Florida, so I may not be understanding it correctly.
Right.
But Noe, what do you know about Mr. Allen? Do you know anything about him?
No, I don't know much about him, but what I can say is that it doesn't come as news to me that wife Lilith has interacted with him in the past. Her and I have talked about that, and she sent me material to prove that. With like you mean, she doesn't have to prove it, but it
Mm,
doesn't come as news to me. And in terms of her wanting to put money on his books, that's her decision, and nobody's business.
agreed.
I personally, met her while I was still locked up, and she visited with Kegan every day. I mean, Kegan had a visit every day, if not, maybe every other day, and her demeanor to me, I never thought she was like a gold digger or trying to do, you know, she just, it was her, she
Mm,
talked to me, waved at me. I met her through the video screen visits. And when I got out and I started following the case mainly through podcasts, and everybody painted a different picture about wife Lilith. Um, and I mean, if she decides to put money on his books, and I mean, I know for a fact that she has interacted with him, and what she's saying, I've read many material that she has sent to me. So that's her decision, and
absolutely.
I'm not here to judge her, what she does. If she decides to contact him or Keg,
Gonna
that's her
help.
decision.
If it's gonna help, I
She's
mean,
got the reasons behind
well,
what she does, what she does. I respect them.
I agree. I agree 100%. And it's 100% her business as well. As well. Now, you spent time with Kegan, Noe.
Hmm.
So you got to know him, um, not not as much as you would if you were his friend forever. If you knew him forever. And I'm not sure how long you knew Kegan, Lilith. How long did you actually know him?
I've known him for quite a while. I mean,
Okay.
he's younger than me. I'm actually, most people don't know my age, but I'm 38, so I'm 10 years older than Kevin.
You're ancient.
Um, exactly. But it, I know it's more of knowing people who know Kegan. We know the same people. I mean, it's not hard when you live around here.
Right. I'm learning that. At first, I thought it was all bullshit. Everybody knows that. That's well documented. But at first, I thought it was all bullshit. But now I'm seeing how Carroll County is. Not only law enforcement practices, but the people in general. Everybody knows everybody pretty much. That's why, to me, it was surprising that Richard Allen wasn't on the radar prior to when he was. To me, that's amazing. Now, back when you knew him in 2017, you knew him through Facebook only?
I'm sorry, who?
You, Richard Allen, you knew him since 2017 on Facebook. Is that the only way you knew him, through Facebook?
No.
Okay. So now, what do you think about his personality and stuff like that? Do you think he's capable of something like this?
Rick?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't think that he I mean, I don't think he actually killed them himself. The kidnapping part, yeah, I believe it, but I also believe that there was money involved for it. It wasn't his plot. Like, there's people above him, if that makes sense. I don't really
It
know how to
does.
say it. Like he's a middleman, so yeah, I can see it as money for the motive. Yeah,
Okay. Now, do you think that?
he's known for sitting in his driveway in his chair. He drinks, he smokes his cigarettes. Very well known at the bar JC before it got, shut down. The doghouse, which is, I'm sure most people know that it's where Libby's aunt works as well. So, he's known, but he wasn't, I mean, he's not like out fighting people, and he's the CVS guy.
Mm. Now, is there any? Do you think there's any connection between him and Kegan? Do you think they both use the Anthony Shots account?
No. I mean, I don't believe they both used it. No.
Okay. Okay. Because none of us heard his name. I've only been around for 5 months, 4 or 5 months. I haven't been around this whole time. But he wasn't on
I have a lot
anybody's
of
radar.
pictures that was on his Facebook. Okay, because there's more. Like I said, if you actually had him on Facebook back then, he had all the German family, like everybody was on his stuff. So there was actually a lot of pictures of Brittany's like wedding or reception, prom, stuff like that over on Wilson Bridge. There was a lot of pictures of him
Hmm.
um, back in the day.
Okay, there's two questions for you so far. Purdue RN, in your opinion, is Tony Kline involved? Your
Involved
opinion
in what?
in this the whole Delphi case? Do you think Tony Kline's involved with it?
I don't think that he was physically involved. No.
Okay. And Angela Van Oven, wife Lilith, what do you think happened out there to the girls?
Um, it was brutal. I mean, what does that question really mean? Like,
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of vague.
I think that they took them, or like, you know,
Yeah, it's kind of vague. Hey, Mel.
I think that they left the area. I don't think that they were brought back dead. I believe that they left the area and was brought back alive and then killed.
Mm. Kennedy says,
But I
I thought it was said
during
that
the
Rick was not allowed to have anything in his cell. That was the reason given for him not receiving paperwork from his attorneys. I
That's
can
not
answer
true.
that one, Kennedy. That's a bunch of bullshit. If he's on suicide watch, he can't keep anything in his cell, but he can come out and look at his paperwork and all that stuff. He has to have access. Everybody has to have access to stamps, envelope, paper, and a pen so that they can write the court. That's
Ruckus,
everybody. Yes, sir.
who's Catherine Stokes?
Who's what?
Catherine Stokes.
I don't know. Is that somebody in chat?
Yeah, she says wife has been around causing problems for a while. Sorry to see you're giving her a platform.
I'm sure that the mods got rid of that. Like I said, they're taking care of that. I wouldn't even read into too much in the chat. I'm
The
not.
funniest thing is people say I create problems, but I've never done a live. I mean, my little bit of contact that I have with people online gets them so disturbed. And it's quite funny because they go out of their way to do like 4-hour lives about me, doxing me, but I don't really do anything to them. Like I
I mean,
say,
I remember the one time. I remember the one time you was visiting with Kegan, and you were worked up a little, and you showed the camera on your phone where they had smashed your vehicle. You know,
I've
stuff
been
like
Oh, there
that.
we go. All right, I
really
see it.
bad.
Remember that?
Yeah. Hang
Yeah,
on.
Uh,
see, I don't even know who that person
I mean,
is. So,
Yeah.
I've had my YouTube for 10 years. So I'm not even, I don't want money. I'm not even really looking to put any information out there because if I wanted to, I could have a long time ago. But I am looking to correct information when I see it's being put out there wrongly.
Mm. Now, someone wants to know, was Tony Klein involved with selling images? Would you know that?
No,
Okay.
in my opinion, no.
Okay.
If they had something on him, Kegan flat out went in front of the whole entire world and said, "It was my dad." They would have went and arrested him right then and there. Like,
yeah.
nothing they had led to Tony. Even, I heard you talking about, oh, the daddy talk or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
fucking dad or whatever. Sorry, I don't know if you're allowed to say that on your channel,
No,
but
you're fine. You're fine.
um, that's Kegan.
Okay.
Nobody
You see,
can tell me
you see,
differently.
when I was there and when I left, I'll be honest with you. I left with the impression that he was involved, and that's not just because what I learned there, but um, that was
Nice.
the gossip in the block. All the other inmates were like, it was him, it was his dad, it was his dad, it was his dad. Kagan is too lazy to do anything like that, right? And then the only one thing that kind of triggered me to think that way was that uh, Kagan mentioned something like, if they want my dad, they're gonna have to prove it was him. So but now this is 6 months later, and shared information and stuff that I've seen. I'm like, and that I've learned about Kagan as well. I'm like, Kagan might have been just pushing the blame on someone else.
Which is human nature. That's human nature. That's going to happen. All right, wife Lilith. I'm able to with this program to pull questions aside, so I'm going to bring out a few more for you. Um,
Yeah, I'm trying to catch him.
no, I'll do that for you. You relax. I'll get what I can for you. Okay. And in comments afterwards, if you want to answer them, great. If not, great. Uh, CJK says, Lilith, talking about the crime of murdering the girls, have you spoken? Oops. Have you spoken with the FBI? Are you speculating, one, that you think what happened? And tell us how Kegan is involved in any and every way to the murders. Yeah. Take your time.
First of all, there's a gag order. So even if I knew anything more than the public already knows, I wouldn't tell it. Um, I don't. Kagan's obviously. I mean, I'm not the one who went out there and said that Anthony Schatz was the one with talking to Libby or talking to Libby's friend or anything like that. I'm not the one who put that out there. ISP did, FBI did, whatever. So, you know, obviously he's involved with Libby at the least, whether it's the murders,
Mm-hmm.
I can't say yes or no.
Okay. Have you ever met Tony Kline, Lilith?
Um,
You don't have to
I've
answer if you don't want. That's fine.
Yeah, I'd rather not.
Okay. And what is the significance of the old man mask you posted on YouTube? Who is wearing it?
Of the old man mask. What time? Like when? What? Which one is it?
Okay, I'll try and get clarification. Who created the
Okay.
Richard Shadow? Do you know?
I there's which one is it? Is it a
Okay.
Reddit account?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm just firing these off as I see them.
Okay.
And ACV wants to know, is RA involved in any clubs like motorcycle club, social club, Masons, etc.?
I'm not fully aware. I know that he likes to play pool,
Okay.
but I won't say about any like biker clubs or anything like that.
But Boji, yes, he can be charged under the same charges if he's involved. There's no indication that he is. Now, to me, with my experience, I think there's no way that he's not, at least linked through the Anthony Shots account. But there's been no charges filed or anything like that, so it's speculation. Lilith, has Ellie approached you or interviewed you?
Yes,
Okay.
several times.
Okay. Can everybody please? I'm not going to put up with any shit today. Zero. You be nice and respectful, and you ask questions like an adult, or please leave. I'm
Remind
not trying to do this.
remind them, Ruckus, that there's been other people who's created, you know, posts or narratives and stuff, and made it seem like it was her. So when
Mm.
you ask her, when they ask a question and she don't know how to answer, well, how would she? She didn't create
Oh,
the
yeah.
shadow.
I've heard people saying that I have several YouTube accounts. I honestly have one that Noe knows about. The name is Tada. It's
Ta-da.
one that actually, yep. And I have my wife Lilith account.
Oh, you have an account called Tada?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's
I
a
was like, what is ta-da?
Yeah.
It's
Did I
like
say it right,
ta-da.
or do I?
I don't
Yeah.
know. Ta-da. It's me.
everybody
Okay.
on YouTube has me blocked, and it's all because Sunny. Because see, the thing is I didn't even get a chance. Nobody even knew who I was. Like I said, I've had a YouTube channel for 10 years. No one who knew who I was until Sunny and Kelly went out and told them by name because they got it from Kegan. Well, I had to defend myself somewhat. I wasn't going to go out and
Yeah.
put a live
No
out
problem,
about it, but
man.
I got in people's comments telling them shut the fuck up about
It's
me.
like Sonny Justice has identified Holly and I as the manure of YouTube and stuff like that, and I mean, you ain't gonna put up with stuff like that. I gave up on her. She blocked me and everything. I gave up. I tried to reach out to her in a nice way, in a mean way, anywhere I could, and she would just she says, "I don't have the time for the manure of YouTube." I mean, and then the next thing you see is she's drinking a big old bottle of something, Crown Royal, and I mean,
No, do me a favor, because I'm ignorant. I
Okay.
didn't.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. I didn't really introduce you guys. I know Wife Lilith needs no introduction, but a lot of people don't know who you are, Noe. Can you tell people who you are, where you're from, how you know Kegan, how you're involved with this person?
yeah, yeah. My name, my name is David Noè Ramos, DNR. Okay, and I go by Noe Amos. It's a combination of my middle name and my last name. My YouTube channel is at Venue 3, and it's a very small, very poor, very few followers and all that, likes and all that. And it's just a little music channel that I do music, homemade videos. And I've been here in Indiana for 24 years. I moved here in 99 from South Texas. Um, Initially, I was working in the education system. I worked as a ELL, English as a, or I'm sorry, ELL, English Learners Language Teacher. I mainly worked with Spanish kids, and I coach soccer. I work for several school corporations here in Columbia City, Warsaw, Richmond, Indiana, and Wawasee, which is Syracuse, Indiana. And then, my troubles followed me from Texas. I ended up having to give that up, and which, I'm transparent and open about it. Mainly substance abuse, alcohol and substance abuse related issues. And I don't have the ability to work in education. I work in shipping and receiving here in Wabash. I've been here for, I think, about 8 years in Wabash. So I relapsed a few years ago, and I ended up picking up more charges. And that's how I ended up meeting Kegan last summer. So that's basically what happened. I've been an enthusiast of true crime, but I had never gotten this deep into like podcasting and stuff. I mainly used to YouTube for soccer and art and music. Um, but when I ended up in jail with Kagan, of course, naturally, being a true crime enthusiast, as soon as I got out and I was able to get a hold of one of these and get on the internet, I started typing in the case, and that's how I started, learning more about it, learning the gossip, what's not truth, what makes sense, what doesn't. It's just so confusing. But that's how I got, I don't know, involved. I'm not involved in this case. I did nothing to it. I just happened to be locked up with Kagan.
Okay, let me go back to some of these questions that I pulled. Tina Baldwin, I'm interested to know what wife Lilith knows about underground tunnels at the park. Do you know about any underground tunnels there?
There are.
Okay. Do you want
Now
to
the one has
elaborate on it, or?
been closed off, but I mean everything around there used to have underground tunnels. That was one of their main ways of traveling, way back in the day without slavery and, and everybody getting caught. That's how they would go. So there are underground tunnels there that have not been closed off, but you have to know how to get to the opening. And a lot of the openings, like the one near Riley Park, you you wouldn't notice it because it's near the ground and it's in a bunch of bushes. Like only certain people know where that entrance is. And that
Well,
goes from Riley Park all the way under State Road 25 and up. And you can even get on one of the old ones, the old maps, and look. And it goes right up past the where the trailhead is. And it actually goes to the right instead of going down to the Monon Bridge.
okay. See, I've always questioned that. I've never had anybody that's actually told me.
When I was there, when I said two small angels at the crime site, um, I saw something that resembled caves or tunnels, but I also
Mhm.
saw a culvert pipe. Do you guys know what a culvert pipe is?
Yes.
It lets water through, and
Hmm.
that kind of resembled a tunnel to me as well. But I didn't go there. I just went
By
straight. I
Ron's
wanted to get
property.
when I went across and I was on the private property. I just wanted to get the hell out of there and into the creek. And once I jumped onto Logan's property, I didn't care because I knew he wasn't there. So then I was just trying to hurry because from that
So what you're
hill.
talking about is that piping down by Wilson Bridge that goes right. Is that what you're talking about? It's like a white piping.
Yeah.
Right the bridge, you go up past K's Yard and then down by real. Okay, so that's near Pat Brown. Everybody, for some reason, keeps saying that Pat Brown lived right next to Ron Logan. Pat Brown lived on the other side and the house right before Wilson Bridge.
Okay.
That's
But I
why
did see
when
that. But these pipes can be wide in diameter where you could actually fit in there and hide if you were trying to hide. But I didn't go anywhere near them, but I did see them, and I did see some type of like cave-looking openings that could have resembled tunnels. But I'm not familiar with the area, so But I've heard about them tunnels, and I saw something that resembles
yeah,
them.
I can call like the inner tunnels
Hmm?
All right, let me get to a
urban.
few more of these questions. They're getting backed up on me. Tom Webster, how are you, sir? Welcome aboard. Tom says, "Hi. Has Rick replied to you from jail? Have you been in contact with Rick from jail?"
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I haven't talked to him about anything other than the money for paper.
Okay. And let's see. You know him from? Did you know him before Facebook? Somebody, Sparky dude.
Yeah, but actually, because he knows a lot of the same people I know.
Okay, that's
From
understandable in your area.
I'll say it's mostly from the bars.
Okay, and did
Rick's
you know the German, Patty, or Williams families prior to the murders? Did you know any of those folks?
prior, no.
Okay. Miss Persevere, what's going on? You're talking about the anonymous mask and the YouTube Rick Shadow account. Are you familiar with that?
The anonymous mask, the one that I have on my,
I think so.
that's just now. I did post the other day. There was a picture that I posted, and I think that's what they were talking about, with the two people on the bridge, and they said that they were in Colorado on the 15th of February when they really weren't. If
Mm.
that's what they're talking about, then those people are the ones that when I said that my daughter was catfished. I did not say I never claimed it was by Kegan. I've always said it by a guy named Nicholas from Attica, who knows the people on the bridge there, who also happens to be related to Rick.
I saw that.
Yes, I mean I don't know how to explain it without like saying too much, but it's so that it's a third person who I believe has info that hasn't given info like they should.
Okay, let me get another question. So, why did Kegan Kline block you on his chirp device?
He had never blocked me. I just visited. I talked to his mom. His mom just texted me this morning. Kegan didn't block me from Chirp ever,
Okay.
but I don't talk to him on Chirp. I don't chirp with him like I used to. And then somebody from the jail, I believe, is the one who keeps giving my phone number out.
Oh, that's nice
Um,
of him.
yeah. So I just,
Hey,
I'm not going to register
you
it
do,
with.
you get anything for coffee?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
blame the
Yeah.
coffee on
That's
that one?
another thing too. So a lot of people said that Kane got his device taken from him back in September because he was sexting me. And this is really where my name started getting slandered and people started being like, oh, she's nasty and this and this. And then they used my screen name, which was wife Lilith, to say, oh, well, she's married to Kegan. And like it just went so crazy because they were first accusing me of being married to him. And I'm like, everybody knows he's not married. But then I was like, you know what? So I just started agreeing with them. I'm like, yeah, remember I'm his wife. Then they got pissed off about it. It's like, you can't
Right.
please everybody on YouTube.
Hey,
But Kelly
Ruckus,
Tony started
I, re-
all those rumors. Like
I
he did not get his
remember.
wife taken for sexting. He got it taken because was put in a segregation over the ID, the bracelet ID issue.
Yeah, you know who did that, right? Right down the corner
Well,
there.
it's another inmate.
I remember their conversations, and there was none of that come out of Holly, man. When I met her on the visit, I was standing behind Kagan. We waved. I said, "Hey, I'm drawing." There was no boobies. Now the picture that I drew with her topless or whatever, flashing, that was just satire, man. and people take that and go off with it. Like, come on, use your imagination. That was just like a comic cartoon. But there was none of that. Now, I ran into Kegan texting other individuals that I don't know, but he would show me, look, this one wants the sex text for $40 on my shirt, or But
Two soups.
I never saw her being inappropriate on her visits
That's
ever.
real. Like,
She's
I
never
even
been
had
inappropriate at all,
him wanting to
with
hook
me.
up.
Okay, Noe, here's a question for you from Sleuth. What up, Sleuth? Hello, Lilith. Hello, Noe. Noe, did Kegan tell you he was waiting in a vehicle while someone was committing the murders? I remember hearing something like that.
Sleuth already got one in on me on the chat with when you and I had the live, just
Mm-hmm.
you and me, Ruckus.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Holly? All I can say is I got my bullets here, and I know that I flipped this paper the last time, and Sleuth, I'd rather not answer that
Okay.
because
No, that's fine.
then people will take off with it and say, "Well, the Jailmate said so and so, this and that," and
No, that's
you know,
fine, dude.
yeah. I'm sorry, Sleuth.
No, that's fine. He asked in a very polite and respectful
Yeah,
manner, and that's why I presented it. It's up to you
yeah,
guys whether or not you want to answer it or not.
yeah. Like the last time I said I was not gonna talk about Delphi. I was gonna talk about my interactions with Kegan while incarcerated with him, and then Sleuth got in there and asked, "Did the river search, was it connected to Delphi or something?" He asked me about the reverse search, and I answered, and I was like, "Oh man, I didn't catch it till after I watched the replay."
Okay, now do you want to talk a little bit about your interactions, Noe, with Kegan? Whatever you're comfortable with talking. People are
Well,
interested. They ask me all the time.
I'd rather keep going and let them ask me what they want to know about my interactions with Kegan.
Well, somebody asked that. Do you want specific questions?
Oh,
Would you rather have
while I was
specific questions?
incarcerated, sure. Yeah.
Okay. And wife Lilith, are you concerned about possibly being manipulated by Kegan?
No.
Okay. I didn't think so.
Okay. That's the thing. Kegan, he's tried. Well, I mean, he tries to do that. People got to understand that it is not normal for anyone to go on national TV and say one thing and then turn around and say the exact opposite. He isn't, um, I don't think he's always there, with it. Nobody lies like that. I mean,
Okay. Did you go to Delphi High School?
did I go to Delphi High School?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Somebody asked that.
No.
Okay.
No. And my way of, when I was married, we moved further that way. I got divorced and I moved back.
Okay. We always go back to where we're comfortable, don't we?
Yeah.
Okay, wife Lilith, you said Kegan Kline knew this Nicholas. You do know that's how KK rolls. Hang on. How KK rolls, he pretends to be someone he is not. Do you think that was possible? That it could have been Kegan?
Well, I know for a fact that, okay, the okay, so I'm the one who actually asked Kegan about him knowing Nicholas.
Okay.
Like, I knew because of he's on his, like, you can see it on his socials, like, they know each other. So I wanted to actually ask him about Nicholas, and he, told me he didn't have any idea about Nicholas doing that, to my daughter or whatever. But um, I mean, it was pretty graphic, and it was in the same time. It was between December and February
Okay.
of
Did
2016
go ahead. No,
and
finish.
17, and it started off. She didn't even know how he got onto her Snapchat, like he just ended up being on there. And then he started sending her messages, and she replied and she goes, "Well, how do I know you?" And he goes, "Well, I know, this person, or whatever." Well, then he asked her for nudes. She said no. She put him on block, and he actually somehow got unblocked, or, created a new account and told her that if she didn't send nudes, he had her identified. He knew where she lived, she knew everything about her, and that he would have somebody. He said, "I have connections. They will come over, slit your throat, rape you, take pictures of it, and send them to me."
Okay.
And
We've already addressed that one. Tom Webster, did Kegan speak to you about how long his sentence is going to be? Does he know?
he doesn't. No, he doesn't know. He's hoping that he doesn't get any more than 7 years.
Yeah. Noe, you're
But
unmuted. We could hear
have
you.
conversations.
Okay. And this is a multifaceted question. One, has Kegan Kline told you anything related to the murders? I don't think you would answer that even if you knew.
Do what?
Did Kegan tell you anything about the murders in relation to the murders? Two, have you heard any others saying that they are involved in Delphi, Lilith?
Have I heard any others say they are involved?
Mm-hmm.
No, but I have heard who others' names. She knew where she lived, she knew everything about her. And then
Okay.
he would have somebody. He said, "I have connections. They will
Somebody.
come over, slit your throat, rape you, take pictures of it."
What is that?
Okay. No idea.
Noe.
And
Is that you, Noe?
Address that one. Tom Webster, did
Noe.
speak to you about how
Hang
long
on, let me
the
text
sentence
him.
is gonna be?
He's got the volume on.
he doesn't know. He doesn't know.
Hang on 1 second.
Hoping that he doesn't get any more than 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
Hopefully, hopefully he can. Hopefully
You can hear me?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
This is a multifaceted question.
Oh my goodness.
Has Kegan Kline told you any?
There you go. Turn that volume down. Sorry about that, guys. It happens though. Technology. Okay. Did you tip Richard Allen in, Lilith?
Yes.
Okay.
He was one of the 4 people that I tipped in 2020.
Okay. And what
Along with the 2 people that I posted the picture of them being on the bridge claiming they were in Colorado, those were 2 of the people.
Okay. And what inspired you to get involved with Kegan?
What do you mean?
Why did you get involved with Kegan? Did you know Kegan prior to this?
Yeah, like I told you, we know mutual people. So yeah, and you got to remember his house was raided right after the murders. Like, people say, "Oh, there was no name of him." It's still even out there. Like, it's labeled Peru house raided for the
Can't hear
Delphi,
you.
homicide. So, it doesn't say his name in it, but if you know Kegan, then his house was raided along with that, hiding in plain sight van that he had in front of his house, for the Delphi show. So, like, there's
Okay.
things people say, "Oh, well, they don't know, blah, blah," but if you know, like, little things that people talk about, So, people kept talking about Kegan Callis. Let's replace Kegan Callis with Kegan Kline.
Okay. I understand.
Just like Meg Allen.
Right. Now, do you know if Ron Logan frequented any of the same places that Richard Allen did?
If who?
Ron Logan? Do you know anything about that?
Oh
They were
gosh.
bars, I'm
Let me
pretty
do
sure.
here.
But I don't think in the last, couple years I'm pretty sure that there was a falling out between Ron and a few people around there. the last few years.
I'm just texting Noe.
I'm not talking about like before he died. I'm talking about
You
there
can
were
hear me, but
issues.
I can't hear you guys.
Okay. I don't know how to fix that. That's on
I don't know
his
what's
end.
going on.
I don't want to have to mute him. But I'll just do that for now.
Olivia too, yes.
All right. Let me see. You see, I brought one question over here. Okay, that was from Noe, but I already know that answer. Wife Lilith, why did Kegan Kline and TK run off to Vegas right after the murders?
They didn't run off right away. It was a scheduled visit, just like they had been there in 2015. It was scheduled. So it wasn't they ran off. Now, why Kegan moved after they came back from vacation, but it wasn't that they just got up and left. It was a planned vacation. Like they didn't just go out and buy tickets at the last minute.
Okay, so they planned that.
It had been planned for, yeah. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's like the one previous, which was in October or November of 2015.
Okay. Alrighty.
But he was not, I know some people keep saying he was in Vegas on the 13th, but he wasn't. They didn't leave until the 21st.
Okay, now somebody had a specific question about a post. When you post things like the photos of the people on the bridge with Colorado tag, what is your motivation to do so if nobody understands it?
Because I know that certain people are watching.
Okay. Let's see here. Trying to catch back up with Chad after dealing with Noe's technical issue. Lilith, can you talk about Kegan Kline being removed from jail right before the Wabash River search? Did he tell police something was in the water? What did he say?
I can't tell you what he was, what he said to them. I wasn't there when, but he was pulled out. They did not take him to the bridge. Kegan never went to the jail or left the jail and went out to the bridge and pointed out anything. He left and went to Grissom Base. And he stayed in solitary for, I think, like 5 days or something like that for that.
Okay. Miss Persevere says, I remember when you couldn't get Ellie to respond to you. When did that change? When did they start taking you seriously? How long did that take?
When I sent and I can send you later, I actually personally kept trying to message Doug Carter because he went out there and told everybody, if you're scared to talk, come to me directly. About 14 emails and no responses back from him. I was finally reached in May about my tip I had left in 2020.
Okay. Let's see here. Kegan Kline, people associates very dangerous people, in my humble opinion. You can be certain they all know who the police locked him up for a good reason. Now, what is your opinion of Kegan? Do you think he was hanging around with the wrong people?
Kegan?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
But I honestly, I feel Kegan's more of a follower. He really is a quiet person. He doesn't cuss. He doesn't get mad. He doesn't I mean, when he does get mad, he'll cuss, but he's almost immediately to be like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Like he's not an aggressive guy, but he is weird. I mean, and I told him that himself. He's weird.
That's not against the law, though. If that was
No,
against the law, we'd have to lock a bunch of people up. Okay, Kennedy, I know you said Kegan Kline was never taken out of jail to physically go to the river search. Is that true?
he did not go. No, they did not take him. Now, I actually want to correct myself, but I can't. I guess maybe I don't want to say it because I can't say everything, and then people will accuse me of lying. But besides Grissom, he did go to one other location, but he never got out of the car.
Right. Okay.
And nobody's seen him. Nobody knew. This isn't a location that anybody has talked about, and it was a quick pull up and leave, and he went back to Grissom.
Okay. Now, is there anything, Lilith, that you specifically want to address that bothers you about the way people are perceiving you?
I really don't care how people perceive me. Like,
Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear
well, the
that.
part is that the ones that who sometimes things may not make sense right away. Just like honestly, Sunny last night on her live was saying how I was talking about a certain person for quite a while, and she just now managed to see how I maybe why I've been talking about that person. And she's like, it's really weird. She's like, but suddenly, huh, she wants to help. And I'm like, no, I just know what information can and can't go out there. And I would love to say everything that I know, but
Now, are you under a gag order? Has law enforcement told you that you can't talk?
yes,
Okay.
they have told me I cannot talk, yeah, about certain things. Yes.
Okay. Noe, can you hear us? Nope, he's still having issues.
Is he on his phone or
He's on
like?
2 phones. I'm just going to turn him down a little bit until he figures it out. Okay.
Do you want me to call him and put him on speakerphone?
No, that's fine. He's going to try from his other phone. Sometimes when you're using 2 phones like that, you know, it's just
Yeah.
it's a juggle.
I thought I was gonna have to use my phone when it kept kicking me out.
Yeah. Why did you tip Rick in during 2020? What was your motive for that?
Um, I already knew that he was there, and there were certain rumors that I had heard, and they fit perfectly. And um, with local rumors led me to tipping him in.
Okay.
It's been no secret. I mean, the whole Meg Allen, you know, story is just really bizarre because you can take a lot of things that people started saying in the very beginning, and a lot of it is true, but in a different way with a different name. Um, it's just really bizarre. Like it's almost like somebody just went out and really has tried to mislead everybody. Just like I don't know if you've seen my post earlier about the Julian Powell, but there's 2 Julian Powells, there's 2 Daniel Pearsons. Like,
Okay, I understand. Sleuth, wife Lilith, what's the connection between Richard Allen and the Klines? Do you know? Is there a connection there?
I believe there, there is a relation between family and like family in-laws. Yeah.
Okay. Now, are you aware of any link like that, or is it just
Yes.
a speculation? Okay. All right, he's back. Let's see if we can bring him in and it works this time.
As far as like family, when I say like I'm not, it's like somebody in Rick's family is married to somebody who is a part of somebody in
Can you hear
Kegan's
us,
family.
Noe?
I can
Okay.
hear you.
Okay,
So
good.
it's not like, brother-in-law, close family, but uh, there's definitely a link there.
Okay. And Noe, thank you for fixing that. I don't know what happened.
I don't either.
Well, you're juggling two phones. I think that may have
Well,
had something to
yeah,
do with it.
I don't have a laptop or a computer, but yeah, I was watching the live on your channel and linked into the chat on my other phone. So I don't know what happened. I can't explain it.
Okay.
I just couldn't hear you guys. So I missed whatever the last 5 minutes or so.
We were talking about you. Yeah, we were talking all kinds of shit about
Really?
you. But
I'll watch the
you'll have to go
replay.
watch the replay.
Yeah.
All right, Lilith, Hard Candy wants to know: are you worried about your safety?
I am, yeah. But I think it's actually, I've tried to explain this before. Um, I've tried to hold a lot of information that I know for the integrity of the case, but also, my safety. Nobody wants to talk, and there's a reason. It's not just like, oh, we're scared of one person. Like, there's multiple people to be worried about. But I think it's kind of gotten to the point that honestly, over the last year, I mean, my name's out there. Like, well, I have nothing really left to lose. I don't want to tell too much, but I don't want to stay secret anymore because I feel like something's not adding up right now for me. And it has been all the way up until right now, if that makes sense. Like the whole red thing, I mean, people knew he was there. Anybody else would have went to the police and been like, "Oh yeah, I was wearing a gray coat and burgundy pants." No, he said he was wearing it because he already knew people knew he was there. He can't lie now. He told people he was there, but he didn't look like a suspect because the police would have arrested him. They think that, so yeah. Yeah, I'm worried about my safety, but really, I mean, what they like to do around here is they like to mess with your vehicles. Yeah.
Indiana's weird, man.
Yeah, Indiana's very weird. I'm finding that out. Finding that out the hard way.
Like I found out that when I got interviewed by LE, I found out, and Holly knows this. Like they sent. I would have to look at my phone. I don't know the names, but I wouldn't say them anyways. But they sent one of the cops that they sent to interview me. It was friends with connected through the web with through the whole thing with one persons and who supposedly is involved.
Hmm. I've
And
gotten this question a couple times here, real quick. Lilith, is what prompted you to tip in RA, and what was the tip that you put in?
Um, like I said, what I prompted was the third person, knowing that that person had claimed to be around the bridge that day and had an association with Rick. But then on top of it, they started changing things like claiming that their picture was in Colorado when it wasn't. Doing things like that is
Okay.
what really got me to send the tip in. And then what was the second part of the question?
What was the tip?
And actually, because then another person is very close to Libby's family, and so the tip consisted of where that person had moved to
Okay.
and their association to the other people.
Okay. Are you related to any of the Allens?
No.
Okay. It came up. Let me see here. No, I don't know what happened on your end, dude, but we could hear everything you were doing and the banging and the and the breathing. but it's good
I
now.
I panicked. Well, you see what happened was a notification came in, and I tried to remove it, and then it went mute. But I didn't hit any mute button or anything. And then when it went mute, I panicked
Oh, I
because
muted you on my end because we could hear everything you were doing,
uh,
and
yeah,
we
I
could hear a
figured that
delay of the.
when you
Yeah,
text me said that I figured that out. I was like, they're probably I'm talking over them or making noise while
right.
they were conversing. So yeah, man, I don't know what happened. I just tried to remove a notification so I could see the screen, and then it went all
Oh, okay.
down.
Lilith, is there a link with RA's daughter? Do you think to the girls?
Um, Now, interestingly, one of the girls who claimed to be at the bridge that day is actually best friends with Brittany.
Okay. And do you think a meth ring was involved? A lot of people are saying that there was drugs involved with this whole case. Do you get
I
anything out of
believe,
that?
I believe there was some involvement. Do I think that they were there, like under the bridge with a meth lab? No, but I believe drugs was an involvement. Yeah.
And I get this question a lot as well. Who do you get your information from? You seem to be have some inside information. Who do you get that from?
People I know in town. You got to remember too. I don't know if a lot of you guys had seen when um, Snade tried to tell people that I didn't really work at Grism Base. So I work in Peru.
Okay. Now,
Well, I
Meg
mean,
Allen. Do you know Meg Allen?
so I go to. It's not just that one facility I go to. Um, the If anybody's seen the picture that I showed of the hanging tree, not that long ago on my page, that's actually in one of the facilities that I work at. That's how close it is to there. So, I've had family members of both Kegan and the girls.
Okay. And Sleuth wants to know basically what about Meg Allen? Do you know Meg Allen?
So the Meg Allen that people keep talking about is not a. There is a Megan Allen, but it's not the stuff that people are saying happened with. I mean, that might have happened, but that didn't happen that day. That is not coincide with anything to do with Libby and Abby. So the person who kept mentioning this might have a motive, like the person who introduced those stories, if that makes sense. I mean, and the people who were around back then should know who created those and told those stories.
Okay. And Holly. Actually, Lilith. I apologize.
Right?
I'm reading it verbatim. Is it still about pills like you said before? And if you tipped them in, aren't you a
So yeah,
witness?
those are um, has something to do with it. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, it's not just one particular thing. Like everybody's says, oh, well, you say cat. Well, yeah, I do believe the girls were catfished out there. I also believe that drugs were involved. That doesn't mean that the two can't exist together. Do you see what I'm saying? Nobody's
Hmm.
changing their story. I just, there's some things I really cannot say, and the fact is that I wasn't given this information anytime recently. This is information that I've actually turned in, and law enforcement hasn't done their fucking job. I've even told people, call them out, call them, ask them why they never took my clip up early. Maybe they did. I mean, there's a reason why he wasn't arrested
Now, did
until
law
recently.
enforcement say that it was your tip directly that led to his arrest?
No, they
Okay.
haven't told anybody what. No, but I don't know anybody else who has screenshots of Richard Allen's name back in 2017,
Now,
and I do
do you
with
have
my name.
connections with law enforcement? Do you have connections directly with law enforcement involved with this?
What do you mean at connection?
I don't know. It
Like
just
I've
says, has Lilith got connections with Ellie? That was the question.
No, I don't have any connections. Like nobody's calling me and saying giving me any information like the murder sheet gets. So
Hmm.
no, this is information that you get from knowing when you know of multiple people around town. Like stories can be told by different people and they can still make sense. Like some people know some stuff and some don't. Just like Garrett. I talked to Garrett. I talked to Garrett's grandma. That doesn't mean that
So do you know Garrett Kurtz as well? Okay. I don't know much about him. I really have. I'm not into the whole drug ring thing.
I'm
So I
not
don't know
either,
much about him.
but I did have an ex.
Yeah. No, I understand. I understand. Let me see. I'm trying to weed through these questions for you guys. I don't want to ask anything that I can answer or anything that's going to be triggering. You know how it is. Some people just want to be trolls, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know if that's the right word. But I'm trying to stay as neutral and kind as possible, especially with my guests. I don't put up with any shits with my guests at all. Let me see if I've got any saved questions over here. Okay, do you know if GK is involved anyway, Garrett Kurtz?
He has never no. As far as I know, like he uh, no. I mean,
Okay,
he might know information. Let me take that back. I believe that he knows information just like I do. Not that he got it because he was involved, but because he knows people who knows things.
okay. And ACV has another good question. Do you know Cheyenne?
Cheyenne Ingle?
The girl that took the pictures on the bridge that was there
No.
right after the thing. Okay, do you know anything about her involvement? Have you heard anything about her through your contacts or anything?
Um, I have not heard anything directly about her, but she's kind of iffy.
Yeah.
Just in general, looking at the stories that she herself put out there just makes it. I mean, her timeline doesn't add up, but
Okay.
nothing in this adds up right now. So
Okay. Now, Noe, do you want to talk about any of the conversations that you and Kegan had while you were incarcerated
Uh,
with him?
I can talk about anything that I've been strict about this. I won't say anything that I discuss that's on this little yellow paper. I can talk about anything that involves interaction with Kegan while incarcerated. There's Rose Scheid. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly.
Hmm.
Shie.
I banned
Uh,
her.
I know her.
I banned her.
Okay, well, she says, both of you, please keep yourselves safe. Don't say too much.
Oh,
And I
that's
don't
not.
know.
Never mind. I didn't ban Rose. That was somebody else.
Okay,
No,
all
I
right. I don't know
apologize.
if that's like an honest advice or a threat. So that's why I ask if you
correct.
know. But
No, that's honest advice. She's being nice.
yeah,
Rose
so
is
yeah,
very
I
nice. Yeah.
absolutely,
No, she's a
absolutely.
sweetheart.
I have about 14 bullets here, and I don't know how well you guys can
Grab a
see.
drink real quick, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
Uh,
All right.
well, whichever the case is, I don't know where my camera here. 14 or 15 bullets, and that's the information that LE has on my end. And but in terms of me discussing anything that Kegan told me, I learned my lesson well. I don't need to be trash
Rick,
like
hang on 1 second. Let me just address something real quick. Rick, any question is allowed here, as long as it's asked in a kind and respectful manner. I don't go on your channel or bring people on your channel to ask derogatory questions. I just don't do that. You and I are okay, Rick. But this isn't about just being derogatory to her and trying to figure out what she's lied about or what's going on with anything. This is about asking her direct questions and her
Who,
answering.
Snake?
Yeah,
Snake? First
yeah.
question's on because he has nothing. That guy is like the bottom of any kind of information.
Well,
I would
he's
say
I don't bash fellow
Alan.
creators either. I don't like to do that, Lilith. Um, and I'm not going to allow anybody to mess with you either. But you can certainly, and I said this before with you. You guys should go on a live together, not either here or on his channel or whatever, and hash it out because there's definitely you guys have opinions.
I would rather choke on Deer Creek water. I'm
Probably
serious.
direct message each other or whatever. I mean, there's things that he says sometimes that I don't agree, but um, that's him, and then there's things that are interesting. He's
I
an
like
interesting
Rick.
dude.
I think Rick's fine. He's got his opinion, but we can all be
Yeah.
adults.
Which I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about?
I release my energy.
But oh yeah, that so if I talk about the direct conversations that I had with Kegan in related to Delphi, I don't want to go through the all the hassle and bashing and all that I've already been through very few channels really,
Mm,
specifically Sunny Justice. But what she's been through. So
yeah,
that's why I choose not to talk about Delphi and Kagan and myself. And I mean, in any ways, if you want any answers, you can go back and read the posts that the Unsolved. Well, he took them down, but whatever is there, I think Sleuth had something up a few weeks ago. Yeah,
yeah.
but
I'll
I'm not.
share
I'm
anything
not
you want,
down.
dude. Yeah,
hmm if you want to ask me about his demeanor or behavior in jail, I'll answer that. Yeah.
right. No, I agree. I'm not trying to quash anything. I'm not trying to get people to stop from asking questions. Just be respectful and don't be snarky. And I'm not stupid. I know when you're leading a question to a smart ass answer. I'm not stupid.
Like that channel, they identified Holly and myself and Kagan as conspiring and junkies and um, jail scams, you know, and she don't even know what I mean, I'm transparent. I've had substance and alcohol issues in my past, and that's it. I mean, I've lost a lot of good things
Hmm.
because of it. But I'm not just a junkie. I've always held respectable jobs. I've always worked. I've been an asset in every community that I've lived here in Indiana. As a coaching, translating, volunteering for bilingual education programs. All kinds of good stuff.
Hmm.
But like I said on one of my first uh, videos on YouTube that was Crime to Sleep posted. I've been my own worst enemy. I've shot myself on the foot many times, and if I've hurt others and I'm this junkie and manure to others, it's been to myself mostly, and to the people who are close to me and my loved ones. Because I have not come here to these communities in Indiana and the state to like personally, you know, bash people and that kind of stuff.
Right, right. Okay, there's a couple questions here. I don't want to blow by them. ACV asked earlier. You mentioned Megan Allen's story. Could you share a bit so others can hear that? Can hear, and do you know how much of that is legit? What's true or not?
I believe that the part where she was probably attacked is real. I don't believe it happened on that day. And the earrings stuff, like it was not the same time. It was not associated to the same timing at all.
Okay. And Miss Persevere, I'll ask again. I'm sorry if I missed it, dear. trying to weed through the muck here, and I'm not saying everybody's muck, and I have no problem with any of the questions that are being asked. I'm just trying to keep this civil and nice.
One last thing about the Meg thing. So,
Okay.
if you actually, there's no police report about her, what happened to her daughter. I do, like I said, believe that it's real, but you can find like police reports that she has herself, her son. Um, I would imagine that if what was being claimed, like the FBI had earrings and, her daughter stabbed somebody as an initiation into a gang or something, like if any of that had happened, I'm pretty sure it would have been in the news. I mean, they have Tina in the news about a paraphernalia charge. So, like I said, I believe that it happened. I don't think that it was reported um, to law enforcement, and I
Okay.
don't believe that it happened at the same time.
Right on. Okay, wife Lilith, were you referring to DJ, say, putting out all the information in the beginning? DG, I'm sorry. I don't know where I got a J from. DG. Were you referring to Doug Carter, putting out all the
No,
info in the beginning?
no, I'm talking about a YouTuber.
Okay. And sorry about that, Miss Persevere. I'm not trying to skip over anything. I'm just trying to keep up and ask legitimate questions. And like I said, some of you guys' questions are good. I held them. I'll answer those. They're very general questions about law enforcement and stuff like that. Um, all right, there was another one here. Do you think Kegan Kline? Why do you think Kegan Kline decided to go, not to go to trial after all these years?
My honest opinion was he was never going to. He was just waiting it out to see what he could get. He was never going to go to trial. It had nothing to do with him getting the witness list. He knew before the witness list he wasn't going to go to trial.
Okay. And are you expecting the reward for
The
tipping?
witness list, they did that to try to push him to not take more time to just go ahead and do something. But I'm sorry, what?
Um, are you expecting the reward for tipping in Richard Allen?
No.
Okay. And how do you know all the players? You see, you know a lot of the people that are involved with this. How do you know these folks?
Like I said, I work in the area, but when I was married, I lived further that way. And my kid's dad actually worked for Caterpillar. And, you know, when they know each other, whether they work in the same plant or not, a lot of them are associated because they do transfer. They'll do like 6 weeks at one place and then go to another and or switch shifts and stuff like that. So what
Okay.
was the original? Oh, how I knew. So I mean, I know a lot of people that way, and then just through work myself. Like I said, I'm a nurse. I do travel nursing, and it's mostly in that area. So I meet a lot of patients' families, and after years, you get to know them like they're your patients.
Okay. And do you know Derek Kurtz? Have you ever hung out with that group?
Who?
Kurtz, Garrett Kurtz.
Garrett?
I said Derek. I
I know
apologize.
him, but no, I didn't hang out with him. No,
Do you know any of those folks in that crew? Those.
the Kokomo crew.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I said. I don't know if anybody remembers, but right when Sonny had Blaine on talking, and I was really upset about that because I don't believe anything with Blaine was like a accident.
Okay.
These people are crazy.
There's a lot of crazies. There's a lot of crazies.
Ruckus.
I found that out the hard way.
Hey,
Yes.
Ruckus. Um, I want to give a shout out to Crime to Sleep because the guy is he's way out there in Europe and he's very engaged. He's been really professional and he wants to know if wife and Rick would want to come out on his program
And hash it out.
on us and hash it out. So I
Yeah,
want to mention
I would
all I
facilitate that
have.
as well.
All I
But
have right here.
that's up to them. I mean, there are doubts. You know, that's up to them. And Rick, I have no issues with you. You know that. You know that. I'm just trying to keep this stream flowing without any finger pointing accusations. And Kay, you're walking the line too, babe. You're gonna get smacked. You know I love you to death. Just chill out a little bit. Wife Lilith, do you think the case will be solved and everyone involved will be caught? Do you think Abby and Libby will receive justice?
I'm sorry, what? Um, I hope so, but I'm honestly worried at this point.
Right. Okay.
I think there's some other factors, and I'm afraid that they're going to try to say that they don't have enough evidence and maybe drop everything.
All right. I'm going to address this one because Kay's being persistent today. And I don't mind Kay. I love you, babe. Why wouldn't she expect a reward if she tipped him and Ellie into RA? Because she said several people did. And they have not reached out to her saying that she was eligible for the reward. And that's already been addressed. And also the gag order. She is not under a gag order for everything. They told her that she's not supposed to talk about certain things. That's exactly what Lilith just said. So that's why I'm trying to go by these kind of questions for you guys and just answer them myself afterwards. But Kay's being persistent, and that's why I love her. She is persistent. So
I've got all day. I mean, really, I have nothing to hide, but like I said, there's some things I can't say it. I mean, I could.
well,
It's
that's
not
totally up
worth
to
it. I
you.
mean, it's been 6 years. These girls deserve justice. It's ridiculous. The things that have stopped the justice, half of you guys wouldn't even know the shit that has delayed this. And it,
Okay, and what would be your advice today for someone trying to help/tip police with a case?
what would you? Honestly, I would say, they said if anybody had any contact or was being catfished by Kegan or this account, I would say anybody who is catfished or told that if they didn't send nudes that they were gonna get killed, to contact the police, the detectives about it.
Okay, and wife Lilith, do you know for a fact RA was not a lone wolf?
I would, with what I have been told, I would say I'm 99% sure that he is not a lone wolf. But I can't, I mean, nobody can guarantee anything. But I would say 99, he's not alone.
Okay, in Easton, she said that her and others tipped in RA because of third person knowledge in local from the locals. And see, just to show you guys, just to address it, Beth, how does wife Lilith know all these convicted pedophiles? See, it's questions like that. I just don't see where they're going to get you. That's almost a statement. That's not a question. You're looking for a specific response, and I'm just not playing that today. She doesn't have to be here. In my opinion, anyone still in communication with Kegan is muddying the waters. I'm shifting that. People reach out to him. So they don't agree with you remaining in
I don't reach
communication
out
with
to
him.
him. He reaches out to me and his mother. So,
Okay.
but how, if it was muddy in the waters, I'm pretty sure that the detectives would have gave me a call and said, "Hey, Holly."
Hmm. Now, which detectives? I mean, can you even say which detectives you dealt with?
I'm not going to say their name, but I've talked to 4 of them.
Okay. And how do they seem? I mean, are they leaning towards RA's a lone wolf? Do you think in the line of questioning that they're asking? You're obviously not a dummy.
Right. They don't really lean towards anything. They're more want info. I will say that the last time I had actually met with them, I felt a little confused when I left because I felt like they were questioning why I didn't have a certain person as a suspect. Is how the way that they were asking me questions made me assume that they want to know why I basically, with what you know, why don't you assume this person is involved as well? Is how I left. And when I left, I go, wait, what were they just trying to say to me? So they don't really, you know, I don't
Well,
give any information.
they're
Want
interrogating you. You know, you're not interrogating them. So,
exactly.
Well,
crying to sleep.
at the
Kegan Kline with
time,
all those fake
they were
accounts. Oh,
they
go
were
ahead.
trying to put, they were trying to put some, like, trying to get you to say something that they wanted to hear. What it sounds.
Yeah, I just thought it was really odd because I had met with them a couple times, and this one was just different because they had never specifically asked me about a person. If I had mentioned a person, they would ask me what I would know about that person, but they had never directly asked me. And this time they did. Like, they started off with saying, "Do you know this person?" And when I said, answer, they were like, "So what do you think about that person being involved?" And when I said no, they were like, "Well, why not?" Kind of thing.
Right. Kay, you don't have to leave. It's up to you, though. You're a big girl, but I'm not. I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid. I can see where it's going. I can see what you're leading to. You're looking for a confrontation, not answers. So, like I said, I love you to death, but that's on you if you want to leave. I'm not asking you to leave. Okay, a little bit. Alexis, wife Lilith, can you teach on your channel what to watch out for with catfishing with our children? Like, how does it start? What are the signals? Are you willing to do something like that on your
Totally
channel?
interested, yeah. Like I didn't mention it here, but I also do security for Google for YouTube. So that might be why a lot of you guys have tried to have me removed off YouTube, and it's not going to happen. But um, I actually know like things to look for. So that's actually how I came across Sunny's page because she had Kegan on there, and he was a flag for.
Now I know where
Something.
this is going to lead, but I'm going to ask it anyways because just because. So maybe it'll slow down a little bit. Rick wants to know why you called his wife a whore.
Why did he call me a whore? Does he know me? He accused me of not even having a daughter, and
Okay. And like I said, I'm not trying to get in the middle of it. I'm reading it
I
out of respect for another
deleted it
creator. Yeah.
because I have no problems with Laura. I wish she would find someone better.
I think his wife is very nice.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know her. I've never talked to her or anything, but just
yeah.
from on his
It
show,
was
she's very nice.
turn around attack of me, and I turned around and I took it down because I don't like to be that person. I really don't. Like I said, I'm here for one reason, and that's for Libby and Abby. Like, they deserve justice, and there's you know there's just so much hate on the internet, but lies is insane. Like, and people are having a really hard time distinguishing what is real from fake in this Delphi case, and it's just bizarre.
Mm. Do you know JP?
Do I?
Do you know JP?
Julian Powell?
Mm-hmm.
Is that who they're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I do not know him personally, but I do know somebody who worked with him as Sprint.
Right. All right. We get a $1.99 super chat from Little Bit Alexis. Appreciate this live. Thank you very much. I appreciate your super chat.
I feel like Noe didn't get to say anything.
Hmm?
I feel like he didn't get to say anything.
Who?
Noe.
Oh, no, we're
Well,
not leaving. No, we're not leaving. I'm just, people are very interested in asking you things, Holly. They've never seen you before.
I know.
Yeah, and I've had Noe on a whole live. We've done a live, and I'll do more with Noe. Noe's awesome. Um, but
I just
no,
wanted to say that I do have an appointment at 3.
okay. Now, is
But
there anything that you'd
I
like to
said
say,
I
Noe?
between 1 and 2:30, so it's hitting 2:30. But you guys can go on. I mean, obviously, most of the questions have been for you, and I think you've done a really good job in keeping it organized and civil. Um, but yeah, I would have to cut out soon. I mean, I'm in Wabash. I just gotta drive 5 minutes that way. But
Okay,
yeah, it can't be any longer than
okay. Does
it's.
anybody have specific questions for Noe? Uh, got joke. Everybody's got jokes. I'm the host, and I got to put up with this shit. Noe, do you have a Cash App so that people can donate to you?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No, I
If there's
don't.
if there's a way, just get with me, text it to me or whatever. If there's a way people can donate, and I'll put it on my channel for you.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I've been there's a prof here asked me if I could do a drawing for him, and I don't type very very fast, so I'm sorry guys. And there was another one um, that said they respect me for not wanting to talk about my direct conversations with Kegan relating Delphi. So just want to say direct message me at the bird. I guess I don't know. I use Messenger more than anything. The
In my
bird on.
Discord, I'll
And
do you a tab in my
as
Discord.
you can tell, I check it once a week maybe. I'm just
Okay. Okay.
can't
Hmm.
can't I can't keep up. I look. I have about 200 people on Facebook, right? And I probably interact with like 20 or 30. So I just wouldn't be able to keep up with all these social media platforms. But I apologize, right? But I try to, you know, message when I can.
Okay.
Yeah. But the bird on Facebook Messenger, I get on that every day. So
Okay.
so thanks,
Well, I
Ruckus.
actually have Noe
Go
before
ahead.
you leave.
Uh-huh.
So, did Kegan specifically say anything to you about a red Jeep?
No,
Okay.
no,
Because
and
when
I'm
the
sorry.
red Jeep
I'll, an-
came out,
I'll answer. I'll answer for you, and I know that you and I could direct message anytime, but no. Um, just mention the car. Ellie
okay,
knows. Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I just
The
wanted
red.
to mention, I think it's really weird. A red Jeep has never been talked about in the Delphi case, not one time. So why anybody believed it and took it and ran with it was just a little weird to me. Because I'm like, I don't think Kagan told anybody that unless he
No,
wrote that in a letter to Kelly.
no. You see, the red Jeep when it's in my post, I believe. I don't know if it was the unsolved or somebody else, but I found out about the red Jeep when I got out.
Right.
So somewhere there in the mix when I was being
No, not
interviewed
you.
with the unsolved, I may have said the red Jeep. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look at the post, but no, he did not say it. I mean that's why I just show these bullets. I know
I don't know
what
where it came from.
already documented, and they have a picture of this, and we had a lengthy conversation, and that all that's been cleared. He said, she said, color of this, of persons, whatever. And I'm not
Mhm.
gonna. I'll answer to you, but that's about it.
Now I heard
I'm
now just from
down
on
there.
here, of course. Um, that's where I heard about the red Jeep was on YouTube. But there's so much out there. I mean, I don't allow words or feelings or anything like that to get in the way of what I can vet. So I just try and keep it level.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, I'm gonna cut out, man.
All right,
I'm gonna
Noe. Listen,
go.
thanks for coming in.
Yeah. Nice talking to you guys. Holly, stay strong. Keep
Yeah.
doing what you're doing. Ruckus, we'll talk again.
Shoot me a
Goodbye,
text, man.
guys. You should.
Bye.
Bye bye.
All right, got a $10 super chat from Grace. Truth needs to come out. The girls need justice. Thank you, Mr. Ruckus. Don't thank me. Thank Holly and Noe for coming on. These two are great.
Look, my if if for some reason things start to look like they're not justice, I most definitely will come out and tell everything. But um, as of right now, I don't want to say anything and jeopardize anything. But most definitely, if Rick gets let out, where things start looking like they're not going to pursue anything, I most definitely will tell everything I know, even with a gag order.
Understood. Rick, I did not put you in timeout, but I told the mods to be extra careful today and be extra diligent. But she did answer that question. She addressed it. She addressed that question. I'm sorry if you missed it. Um, and like I said, I'm
We
not.
skip
Yeah,
one timeout.
I don't want anybody talking about other. This me. I sounded Canadian there, talking about. I don't want anybody talking about other creators or anything like that. I'm trying to avoid that. If I hit any questions that allude to that, I apologize. I'm trying to avoid all that. Trying to be a gracious host and respectful, and I also do not want to talk about other creators. I'm not down with that kind of bullshit either. Would you say there's a trafficking problem in the Delphi area, Lilith?
It's not just Delphi, and I wouldn't say it's a lot in Delphi. I mean, that's a small town to be trafficking people out of, but definitely surrounding.
Hmm. Okay, we have another super chat. ACV 999. Wife Lilith, appreciate you sharing what you can here. Great live. Thank you, and I
Yeah,
agree.
so if
Thank you.
you want to, I'll go live on my page, and instead of discussing, um, you know, Kayan or anything like facts that I might know right now, I'm willing to go back and go over anything. I mean, go back from the very beginning and go through things, with people to show them where I'm at, on because Rick has been without a doubt one of my POIs. I've been telling people for years there's more than one person involved. I mean, there was a rumor from the very beginning, like the next day, that there was a group of guys out there.
Yeah, I mean, it just, there's so many things to weed through. So many things. And
There's
somebody
a lot.
just sent me a screenshot of Noe talking about a red Jeep. So I'll address that with Noe. I don't think anybody here is being malicious or anything like that. This is a
I guess
question and answer
most people
session.
want to know about the red Jeep because I'm sure Kegan he's never said anything about a red Jeep to me, and I even asked him. I said, "Did you tell anybody that you were waiting in a red Jeep? Like, why would you lie and say that?" He wasn't waiting in no car for anybody. Um, but he denied saying that to anybody, so I don't where that came from. But what really got me is a lot of people have been here from the very beginning, and a red Jeep has never been mentioned. So why people took it and ran with it like it was gold, maybe it was everybody was excited to get news or something, but it wasn't even close to even a rumor we've ever heard before, and it really took off.
All right, Beth, I apologize if I read too much into your question. I apologize. Maybe I'm a little bit too quick to protect.
I know I did go. So Brittany went to Ball State and Kelsey went to Purdue, and I did go to both schools.
Okay, let me see. lost that. There it is. Just want to stretch this out a little bit. Specifically, would you have suspected Kegan of being a pedophile if you met him in the real world?
Not so much a pedophile, but liking younger girls, yes. Like more 16, 17, not like tiny, tiny girls. I wouldn't have looked at him and been like, wow, he's a real creep.
Well, to me, he's creepy as fuck. But
I mean, he is. I mean, there's things about Kegan that, people don't know. But and at no time, and that's another thing. People were like, "Oh, well, she said she stands up." No, I didn't say I stand up for him. Now, when you have people reaching out to Kegan just for the pure reason of wanting to get letters to come make YouTube videos, what are you doing for justice? I mean, really, if anything, knowing he's lying to you, if you know he's lying to you, but you're still intentionally going out and making YouTube videos on it, I mean,
but we can't control that. That's the thing. You go crazy. You go crazy if you try and decipher who's telling the truth and who's not and all that. And Lilith, we've had our disagreements. I don't agree with everything that you say. You don't agree with everything that I say. All I'm saying is we can be adults. Yeah, we can be adults.
Like, what part is it that you don't agree with me on? Like, does anybody even know why I actually have been in contact with Kegan? Like, or is it just what everybody has heard?
What do you mean?
Everybody says,
Oh, I think everybody is believing and aware that you are in contact with Kegan Kline.
mm-hmm.
And my question has always been, why interject yourself into that? You and I have talked about this before. You probably don't remember because so many people give you shit.
Well, like I said, I actually didn't interject. I had talked to Kegan, and he had given Kelly my name, and then they went out and put my name on YouTube. And at that point, I actually just started talking to Kegan for the murder sheets. It's a long story. So to stop him from giving the information, but then other information and stuff came up with that. And it's not like he said a visit every day. It wasn't every day with him, but I've always been honest with Kegan. I know what he did. I know how involved he is, and anytime he lies to me, I will call him out. I will say that is not true, and you know it.
Okay.
Like, he doesn't try that bullshit with me.
All right,
Like, he deny being Anthony Shots from the beginning, but I never let him. Anytime he tried to say it wasn't him, I'd be like, "Well, it is you." I'd call him out every time.
I got a $10 super chat from I-43 Pammy. Thank you, dear. Great live, civil, and informative. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I think LA should send some super chats my way because he knows I'm broker than the 10 Commandments. I think Sleuth Reloaded is a troll. I talked to Sleuth last night, and he said he wasn't in my live yesterday, and Sleuth Reloaded was definitely in my live yesterday. You're welcome, Crime to Sleep. You're welcome. Does anybody else have anything for Lilith? I'm a little bit behind in chat. Let me see if there's any questions I pulled back. Okay, Grandmasaurus, what a great name. This was from way earlier. I pulled it aside because you guys were talking. I didn't want to interrupt. Answer yes, no, or not answering, please. Do you know any of the K crew affiliated with Clarksville or Crawfordsville? No names and nothing more than that, please, because I want you to be safe, if yes. Do you know any of those folks?
Not in Clarksville.
Okay. And Purdue. Question for wife Lilith. In her opinion, are JP and DP involved in any way in the murders? Now, your opinion. That's not fact. What do
No,
you think? Okay.
I think the Julian Powell that was going around, I believe he helped troll.
Okay. No, no troll, Rose. I'm a content creator myself. Oh, that's not so. Yeah, go ahead and boot that one. Sleuth Reloaded. Go ahead and boot that. That's not. Oh, I almost banned Professor Pug.
There's
I'm sorry.
actually um if you got anybody who's really interested, if you actually go to Bobby Camworth's, whoever created Bobby Camworth's page actually knows a lot of information. Um, you really got to think about the comments that are being made and the things that are said or done on his channel. But whoever made that channel definitely knows Rick, definitely knows what happened in Delphi.
Mm.
I know it's a troll page, but there is information on that page. It's really weird.
Do you feel that Carroll County is trying to hide something about this case?
Yes,
That's all you
I
have to
don't
say
believe
on that.
county, but I believe they're yeah.
Do you know if Jalen Rain is okay and safe? Do you know Jalen?
I do not know her, but I do know that she had recently was talking with someone on it was either YouTube or social media, and I had seen it. So she is alive, but I think she might be having like a hard time just
Yeah.
financially in her situation. But
Okay. Do you know about the ex cop in
there's a
Vegas?
lot of value in water too.
Okay. Do you know about the ex cop in Vegas that was friends with Tony Klein?
It was not um that was not true.
Okay.
It
Miss
was not Tony.
Persevere. Do you know who Miss Persevere is? Have you seen her stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty good. She is inviting you to go on StreamYard, do a live call in, take calls, open panel, if anything like that, if you're interested.
Okay.
She's pretty straightforward too. I like Miss Persevere. Don Spain, what's up?
I mean, I've had a lot of run-ins with people on YouTube with, feuding and stuff, but like I said, Snay and Sunny are the two I will never um, be willing to talk with or, you know, I tried with Snay in the beginning, but those two I won't. If it has anything to do with them, I won't go on anybody's live.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome here anytime, and then the more and more comfortable you get, well, then maybe you can address some of these other questions. But I don't have a problem with any creator. I don't agree with a lot of them, but I don't bash them. I don't want them bashing me. Okay, is it typical to place an important person and only have them under partial gag order? No, it is not. No, it is not. That's a good question. Okay, and why is that, Lilith? Why do you think they told you can't talk about only certain things?
Um, I think it's because not everybody has been charged with stuff.
Okay, and I got a $2 super
Not
chat from my super
it may
mod.
not be a formal, gag order, but I think anybody who knows with real information, they're not going to go out and give it. I mean, something that's not out there, they're not going to go out there and put it out there. But yeah, I have been directly asked not to share certain information.
Now, asked or ordered, there's a big difference.
Um, I don't know how.
That's a big
I don't know
difference. If I say,
how.
"Hey, listen, please don't say anything about this," or if I say, "Do not say anything about this," that's a
Okay,
big
so
difference.
asking while intimidating is kind of how I would take it. So
Okay,
I'll get in trouble if I say something. I know for a fact I would.
okay, okay. And what Jinx's super chat said was, "You owe me a beer." Well, you just gave me $2, so you bought yourself a beer. So yeah, I'll get you a beer. Do you know the Kokomo crew? I think we already went through that. Brittany and Kelsey, also 16, is still a child. So him going after a 16-year-old is pedophile. Agreed.
Well, yeah, it is.
Agreed. Well, this is a good question from Olivia. There was a 3-year-old listed on the affidavit as one of his victims. Have you addressed that with Kegan? And if you haven't, why not?
I have.
Okay. What was his answer to that? If you want to share, you don't have to.
He actually told me that he has done the unforgivable and he doesn't know if he'll ever be able to be forgiven by people he hurt. And we had a conversation, and I told him that he doesn't get to control who forgives him. He only can control how sorry he really is for his actions. And by not, running anyone through the mud and making them do anything, he needs to admit what he did wrong. And I told him, if you didn't do it, don't admit to it. But if you did it, you need to admit to it. So that is all he has said about that. It was that he was really sorry and he didn't know. He knew he didn't. He says, "I know I don't deserve forgiveness." I guess I told him, well, you can't control who forgives you.
Rick,
But
again,
no,
I'll do respect, sir. I'll do respect. This is something you can handle outside of my live. I've been asking, please tell us how and why. Oh, I'm sorry, this account, did I miss something? Again, it's going by. Here we go. Again, this is another one of those questions. How do you hold your stomach when talking with Kegan? Because of, the whole 3-year-old thing. I mean, it's a valid question. I've been
yeah,
around people like him and I understand it. And so, to me, I'm desensitized. It doesn't mean anything to me.
it's definitely not easy. I mean, I've told people before, he knows exactly how I feel about everything. I've never sugarcoated anything and been like, oh, it's okay. Like, you have victims. These are your victims. Anytime I address something, I remind them, these are your victims, no one else's. These are your victims. But I hope that he wants. I hope he's honest. I believe he's being honest when he says at this point in his life he hopes to change because he knows he has a problem.
New York Rory says, "What's good, Lilith?" Do you know New York Rory?
No.
He's cool. He's cool as hell. The murder sheet, although KK was a liar, they confirmed that he told someone that he was waiting in a red Jeep. However, some of the murder sheet statements from their sources have been suspect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I try not to.
Like, okay, I'm not gonna lie. So the murder sheet pissed me off, and there's a couple times I told Kegan what to say to him. Like the hashtag herbal menthol and the pay me for the interview because I knew Anya wouldn't do it. I mean, stop bugging him. Let him do what he's doing so we can move forward with the case. Like, she wanted, I don't know.
Okay, we got a super chat from Miss Persevere. Thank you very much. $2. Great panel, Ruckus, but the Patriots still suck. I'll wait until halfway through the season to address that. I don't have a crystal ball. But they did not suck for a long time, and I think we all know that. Okay, so Murder Sheets asked you to begin talking to Kegan. Did I follow that correctly? That's from this.
No, when he was reaching out or when the murder sheets was reaching out to him, asking him for interviews, I told Kegan what to say to him.
Okay.
And it wasn't like stories. I told him to go fuck himself and told him if they wanted an interview, they could pay a couple $100 and then the hashtag Marvel Menthol. So that way they knew that they were directly talking to me, not Kegan.
Now, you must have known that the chirps and all that are monitored. So anytime you were chirping with him, I mean, you'd be careful.
Yeah, I don't, like I said, the whole sexting stuff. Now, a lot of people, he has shown me, so people like to create text now accounts, and you can change your number as many times as you want. You can hit create new number and get a new number. And they would text him and act like they were creators of Disney, show people who, like all these famous people. A couple times they've messaged him acting like me with a different number, and he thought I had a new number or something like that. And yeah, people have really been contacting him, and it's actually a lot of guys more than women.
Charlotte says this is all so very convoluted. KK must have provided an avenue of conversation to the girls on some level. Do you think KK is capable of that? Do you think that he was catfishing girls and then basically selling that information through the Anthony shots or the Dropbox to other people who
I
wish to
don't think
contact him?
anyone else used the Anthony Shots account but him. I do believe that he was getting pictures of girls and turning around and using them like he was them, and catfished other people, or he was selling them to people.
Mm-hmm.
And I also know he was selling phones, a lot of phones. So he may have had phones that were already programmed with pictures and stuff like that, but that's nothing that he's ever admitted or said that he did. But
well, he's definitely. It's like I said. I've dealt with, and I'm not going to use a broad stroke and say, "Oh, I know how people like him operate," but I've had my hands on a lot of people who have been convicted by a jury of their peers for these type things, and they all share.
2012.
Say what?
He had been catfishing since 2012.
No, I mean I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all. You know. Thank you, Kai. I appreciate it. In L.A., you can go fuck off. He's a friend of mine. Well, that's how we talk to each other.
I saw him on your.
Yeah, he's.
I can't see any of the comments really.
I'm keeping up with him. Any good questions? You know, I'm going to give them to you. The ones that I think that I can answer or that have been answered already, I'm just going right by them. What about the Reverend guy? What do you know about the Reverend guy?
Are you talking about the YouTube channel, Reverend?
I'm not sure. Yeah, the question exactly. The question is, what about the Reverend guy?
I'll need more to that.
Okay, and can you talk about Bobby Camworth?
Like I said, that's honestly, I used to think it was Mike Cunningham, but it's not. But that person has information. They definitely have information. If you go, they're talking about Rick in his comments. And he also mentions about being catfished from someone from Alaska. And this was back in 2018 or 19.
Now, what do you think about the crosses and dolls in Bobby Camworth's videos? What's your opinion on those?
Okay, so I think the doll thing has to do more with what was said by Erskine of Libby or Abby looking like a doll or set like a doll. But I think a lot of what he's trying to do is demonstrate what was done during the murders.
Okay.
And reasons. Just like there's one where he has like a baby doll just sitting in front of a flower pot, and it only has some numbers as the title, and those actually go back to the Perugism base.
Okay. And I just wanted to address something real quick here with a comment. Chopper Harris. This is exactly what I was talking about. I don't like bashing anybody, to be honest with you. So I'm trying to keep this shit to a minimum. I don't have a problem with Rick. I don't have a problem with Holly. So, you know, that's between them, and I just don't want any bashing. To me, it gets you nowhere, man. It gets you nowhere. All right, I got to move you up.
Well, Snape's problem with me is because he doesn't want to believe. When the murders happened, it was right away. Catfish, Snapchat murders. Um, but then law enforcement was like, no, it's not that route. And nobody really went down that route. Well, then when it started coming back up, you know, things started clicking. Now, like I said, I never said it was Kegan, but the boy who catfished my daughter is best friends with Rick's nephew. That is so odd to
All right,
me.
well,
And
let's just
then,
leave that there, though. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, Holly, really.
okay,
Um, and let's see, something to say. Do you expect to be called to testify if Rick Allen goes to trial?
I hope not.
Yeah, that would suck. Have you ever testified before in a trial? It sucks. Yeah, it sucks. Cross examination is no fun. No fun.
To be honest, when I talked to the detectives, I was sweating. Like, I didn't even really want to talk to them. And that's why I had messaged Doug Carter many, many, many times because I didn't want to talk to anyone else. I didn't feel safe talking to anyone else. And then when I had gotten contacted by the detective, I told him I had reached out to Doug Carter and I showed him all the emails. And his response was, "That's not surprising."
Okay, see, this always gets me if someone says, hey, good question. Then I have to scroll up. I think I already asked it, though. I think I did from Olivia. And if I didn't, Olivia, I apologize. Could Bobby Canworth be Stu Sutcliffe? Where does Bobby get his knowledge? Any idea about that?
I think, like I said, I think Bobby is somebody who got information from locals, just, being in the bars, working around, people talk. Now, Stu, I believe, I actually believe he's law enforcement. I think he's very right on with a lot of stuff. He's a very smart guy.
Oh, so you think he's either you think he's actually law enforcement or just has close ties with him?
Well, the fact that he's a very smart guy and that he gives Bobby Camworth's channel so much attention tells me that, I mean, I can see the things that are there, that are related to the case, but the fact that he does too would make me think that he has law enforcement knowledge because he isn't from Indiana, so he wouldn't know those little things from people around the community. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. It does. I mean, not a lot of this stuff from that community really hits home with me because I've never been involved with that type of community. So, but I'm
Mhm.
slowly learning to understand from some of the locals, and some of them were pissed off at me. But I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't grow up in that kind of area, so you can't expect me to understand, that kind of thing.
They don't
His
like you
videos are
talking.
super bizarre, but he's normal. He's brilliant.
Do what?
Okay, she's talking about those videos. She's
Yeah.
agreeing with you, or he's agreeing with you. Kayak. I don't know if it's a male or
I
female.
mean, there's stuff, like I said, for people who have been around from the beginning, you hear rumors that come and go. You hear things that get forgotten, and when you see those things being mentioned in comments and even words, like they just got weird way. There's some trolls on YouTube who have information, and I don't know. I think it really goes back. I don't think it's Mike Cunningham himself, but I think it's around those people.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have anything else for wife Lilith? Hey, would you be willing to come back again?
Yeah, like I told people, I'll go on my page too live later and answer questions that I didn't get to see on here or whatever that people don't. But I'm not going to deal with any kind of.
Oh, you froze up. I think we might have lost her. Are you back? Oh, you muted yourself. That's what happened.
I don't know how because I wasn't even touching the computer.
Okay. I apologize. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, if you want to, I'd like to go over the PCA with somebody because there's a lot of things I don't ever hear people mention about
Like
it. So
what?
yeah, if you're yeah, um, see here. I don't know if I got it. So okay, like when they had mentioned, um, if you just read it, they were talking about two different guys. Period. I mean, even though they say they're dressed differently, one says that they notice them up, before they take the pictures or whatever, and then they said that they notice the other one after she takes the pictures. But then also in there, you got to remember they're saying that the voice that they hear is the person who is on the bridge with the girls. Rick wasn't pictured with the girls. He was pictured at a distance. The voice is the person on the bridge with the girls, meaning not being seen. Is how I honestly take it. I mean, I believe the voice is two different voices. The first part and the second part.
Okay. Now, what do you
But
think?
it's written, it's trying to say how there's two people without actually saying it. By saying when they ran into him and then when they ran into the other person.
Okay. Now, since you had knowledge of Rick, even though if it's secondhand to where he went and stuff like that. Now, obviously, he ran loose for almost 6 years. Do you think he was a threat to hurt anybody else? That's from me. That question is from me.
No, I don't think no. Not like I mean, as far as maybe plotting with other people, but himself, no, I don't I wouldn't have seen him out there by himself doing anything. I really believe he was paid to be out there.
That he was what?
He was paid either
Oh,
by
okay.
money or by other things. And another thing about the PCA. So remember, it says the car he owned. He no longer owns that car. So why did they take or check his car when they went and did his search on the 13th? Or you know what I'm saying, in between those days?
Hmm.
Because that wasn't the car he had. The car that he had ended up getting totaled out with by another woman through the Indiana State Bureau, like the State Farm or whatever.
Oh, okay.
It's just really odd. Like things don't add up in there. Like you see what I'm saying? He does not have that Ford Focus anymore. He hasn't had it since 2018.
So Richard Allen, he doesn't have the car that they're saying that he used. In
Uh-uh.
okay, okay,
Nope. It was totaled out. He got rear-ended in 2018, and he was actually just paid the compensation for that in 2021 or 2022, which was $12,000.
how do you know that?
Because I know a lot. I even
Okay,
know the name of the person who hit him.
okay. In your
I
opinion, will there be arrests coming soon?
to get rid of the car, huh?
In your opinion, do you feel like there'll be arrests coming soon? And was Ron Logan involved in any way?
No, I don't think Ron was involved, but I think Ron knew what was going on, and I think that he seen something that night, and instead of calling the police himself, he just decided to let the searchers find him.
Okay. And Boston Christian asked me, how will Ellie handle all the victims if Kegan Kline has been doing it catfishing since 2012? It depends on the age of the victims, whether they can actually identify them as underage victims. There's a lot that comes into play, but I'm here to tell you law enforcement knows about all of it at this point.
Well, they have to be willing too. They have to want to press charges or
Hmm. Yeah, sometimes the family won't let the victims testify. Sometimes the victims don't want to testify. There's a lot that goes on. I mean, there's a lot of subpoenas that have to happen because nobody just tells you everything that's going on.
mhm.
Unfortunately, and I don't mean to sound like an asshole here, I don't, but I've seen enough of these cases where if you guys seen some of the pictures, now they're being catfished, they're being groomed, they're being coerced. Yes. So I'm not blaming the victims, but some of the pictures that they end up sending are quite graphic. And some of these victims are old enough to know better, 15, 16. Um, and they don't want that shared. They don't want it aired. They don't want to press charges. So that happens frequently, unfortunately. And I'm not victim shaming. I'm not doing anything. I'm just telling you the facts, what I have seen. And I'll never say that I've seen it all, because as soon as I say that, I see something more fucked up right away.
Well, and I think not only that, I think in the beginning he wasn't necessarily getting nudes from girls, but he was in a relationship that he couldn't have as himself. And then it progressed to getting nudes and younger girls and
Oh yeah, it progresses. It does. It starts out with nothing. I don't see him, and this is just my personal opinion. I don't see Kegan as somebody that's trying to meet girls. He's getting pictures of them for his own sexual gratification. I mean, it'd be impossible for him to show up and say he's Anthony Shots. He looks nothing like that account photo.
now you
So
would be surprised. Tegan didn't look like what he did in 2017.
okay, but he
So
still did not look like the model that he used for the Anthony Shots.
right,
Right,
right.
exactly. It
Even
wouldn't be
though
hard if you were going to meet him and you were expecting that model. It would not be hard for you to say that's not you.
right,
That's my point.
exactly.
That's my
Yeah.
point. Do you stand by the video showing you believe three men are visible in the photo of Abby, like the video short showed? Do you
Yep.
stand by that? Okay.
Yep.
Do you know of the Ellie neighbor who lives across from?
Photo of BG, you can see Abby in it during certain. That's why they had to clip it out, because Abby is in that photo with BG at some point.
Do you know of the Ellie neighbor who lived across from the Klines?
Yes. Actually, Tobe lives not that far from him.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I'm sorry, not Tobe. His daughter lives not that far from him.
Tobe's
Tobe
daughter.
lives, yeah.
Okay. In that little triangle neighborhood? Oh, the Klines. We're
For,
talking about the Klines. That's in, yeah, that's in.
mm-hmm.
Okay, ACV, could you please explain Marlboro Menthol's The Waterfall, someone whose first name is the month before October?
Okay, so explain the Marlboro menthol. Okay, Marlboro's is Rick. He smokes Marlboro menthol blacks or black menthol, whatever they're called. The waterfall is where I've heard that things were left immediately after the duffel bag and stuff like that when whoever took off on foot. That's where they had left it, and between there and some in the cemetery. And that's why Ellie had came back on the 17th. So yeah, I
And
believe
someone whose first
the
name is the month before October, so I'd imagine November.
I don't think it was the
Oh
month. It
no,
was
jeez.
one of the it was one of Libby's friends was who got Snapchats supposedly of that incident, but it wasn't of the bridge guy. What I've heard is that it was the camera was pointing down to the ground and you could see him walking, and that was it. But there wasn't any pictures of any guys. It was just trees, and the girl's name was Summer.
I'll address that at a later date. I love marbles. I've got some things planned to go over all that kind of stuff. What Ellie has and what we can expect
I read the
from law
cigarette butt
enforcement.
sound was a Marlboro Black.
Yeah, I didn't even know that he smoked those. To be honest with you.
Yeah, he used to sit in his driveway, like I said, in a lawn chair and smoke cigarettes and drink beer and just stare at people if you were out there or whatever. Like he don't like. I mean, he wasn't like a big talker. Like you see the video of him at the bar. It's not like he's running around drunk. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, I think he makes people feel uncomfortable. Honestly.
Hmm. Yeah, Boston Christian. I've mentioned it many times. Don't be your kids' friends. Be their parents. They'll thank you later. They'll thank you later. We've already addressed that one, Chopper. Not to blow by you, but she has no connection with the Allens. Thank you for the courage to come on this show and share the information you were able to share, Lilith. That comes from Purdue RN.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Chap, that chap's just gone live. I don't know who that is.
Oh, and then a lot of people have heard about the cat rumor and the cat hair. So I wasn't necessarily told so much about cat, and I'm not saying I heard it from anybody important, but rumors. But from what I had actually heard was that because Kathy and Brittany do the catch and release, they catch cats, get them fixed and release them or whatever. And I had actually heard that Libby and Abby were asked to grab a cat that was running around there. Help the cats to do the catch and release. And that's kind of where the cat hair head came in.
Okay. And Kay asked, do you believe you were the first one to tip Ellie for RA? Do you believe you were the first one to tip him in?
No. Because the reason I got my tip was because of other people talking about it. And so I hope they would have tipped him in. But I mean, like I said, I know for a fact that Ellie talked to him more than once. And it wasn't just at the boat show for the conservation officer. Like Ellie actually went to his house and talked to him in 2017.
Okay. Crime Geek, you're probably going to have to finish that sentence. KR Beauty, thank you for coming by. I appreciate it. All right, guys, I'm going to wind it down. If you have any more questions for her, you can send it to me through Discord or make comments after this video. And if she agrees to come back on, we'll address all those at a later time. And
thank you.
That's about all I have. Lilith, I appreciate you coming on.
And I do have more I could talk about, but, like I said, as much as the facts and stuff.
Well, if you want to talk, absolutely talk. I was just trying to address questions from the chat. I can put that aside if you would like to talk.
No, I was just saying in general with, because I have never gone and talked and told anybody anything. This is the first time. So,
okay. Well, I'm glad you were able to do it, and I'm glad that you had this platform. And I honestly do hope that you can work things out with these other creators, to be honest with you. I think we all have the same goal at the end of the day, and that's Libby and Abby. We just can't let personal issues get in between that. But, okay, I appreciate it, Lilith, and I'll be in touch with you. Now that we've exchanged information, I'll definitely keep in touch with you. And just let's get this one last question because she finished her sentence. Sorry, my thread sent too soon, but I wrote my question a minute ago. Okay, but I didn't see it, so just put it in the comments, Crime Geek, and I'll definitely at least I'll get all your questions to Lilith, if nothing else. All right,
I'll
Lilith.
go live later on my page, like probably about 6 or 7, and I'll answer more questions if you guys want.
Sounds good. I appreciate you coming on. I really do. You didn't have to do this. It was very brave. And I'm glad that people finally get to put a face to the name. I think you're awesome. Yeah. And I appreciate it. You're welcome.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody. That was wife Lilith. I know some of you are probably upset with me that I didn't ask the questions that you wanted to ask. But I used my own, not common sense, but I didn't want things to go south. I don't want things to go sideways. I appreciate all the questions. I have no problem with any of the other creators. You know I don't. Rick, I will reach out to you. And you and I will talk. I mean, you have my email address and stuff, so I'll shoot you an email. Yes, good point, Sleuth. Good point. Thank you very much for pointing that out. But thanks for coming out. And if we have any other questions, now this is her first time on, so we can get progressively more in detail as she gets more comfortable. And I think that that's the prudent way to handle this. That's just my opinion. So, all right, you guys have a great day. Don't take any wooden nickels. My name is Ruckus. Thanks for hanging out. Please like, subscribe, and share. I'm 10-7.